Hello everybody. Andreas here from HM Mind Dynamics. Again, talking about our coaching series that we started a couple of weeks ago. Earlier on, of course, we've talked about why do you want to be a coach nowadays? Because it's actually very beautiful to be a coach. I want to check out if I'm really live in all the channels that I want to be. So the first session we had was, why do you want to be a coach? And why is easy? It's one of the most rewarding, personally rewarding sessions, situations, feelings you can ever have. When people come to you and they come with a problem to you and you are helping them somewhere along that line to break through their limitations, and it helps them to succeed in their life. The second session we actually had was that it's fantastic to, also very important to know the different areas you're coaching in. You can't cover everything. You simply can't cover everything. You must specialize. And more nowadays, it is very important to be more and more specialized. And now Facebook tells me I need to swipe something to the left to see who's actually watching me. So yes, I would welcome you to that session. I just got started on identifying the beliefs that you have to have as a coach and just had a little bit of a revamp over the last couple of sessions. So the first one was, why do you want to be a coach? The second session was to identify, or the importance of identifying the area that you need to specialize in, that you can't cover everything. The third one, last week, I was a little bit sideways the whole time. I was like this or like that, I don't know anymore. But the third one was about, maybe it was appropriate to hang around a little bit. But of course, in the meantime, on YouTube, I've corrected the video. Last week, I spoke about the dangers of coaching. That it's actually quite dangerous if you have the wrong coach. Because you don't know exactly how you manage somebody who has a little bit of a mindset problem or a real problem overall related to mental issues. So you need to be able to identify this. The articles I read about was about the psychology. A coach needs to have a deep insight into the psychology of his or her clients. Now, today, I really want to talk about the beliefs that you as a coach need to hold within yourself, in your mind, in order to really create excellent work. The beliefs you have to have. Hey, Justin, good. Today I think I'm correctly positioned, not sideways, but straight up, isn't it? So today I want to talk about the beliefs that you have to hold as a coach when you work with people. And your beliefs about your coachee helps you or helps your coachee to succeed. If you don't believe in the success of your coachee, if you don't, hey Cairo, good to see you as well. If you don't believe in the success of your coachee, if you believe your coachee will never make it, you are limiting your coachee. You're limiting the big word now coming, actualization of your coachee. If you don't believe your coach can succeed in the issue they're coming to you, automatically they will not succeed. If you don't believe in your coachee, that's a big frame today. If you don't believe in your coachee, send them somewhere else. You must believe that your coachee can succeed. If you don't believe that, send them somewhere else. Because it's really a waste of time on your side and a waste of time on your coachee's side. And both of you will end up in a very, very frustrated manner. Good. So that's a big frame. What are the beliefs you hold on regarding your coachees? And another big frame, the first frame is you must believe in the magnificence in your coachee. The second big frame is that you must know your stuff overall, of course. Hey, Matt, good. You must know your stuff. You must believe in yourself that you are able to succeed with your coachee. So you must believe in your coachee, and you must believe very strongly in you that you are the one person that can help that person, whoever it is. If you don't believe in yourself, it projects outside in insecurity, in uncertainty, in I don't know what to do kind of attitude. So if you don't believe in yourself, do something in your mind first to make it happen. There are certain beliefs that you need to hold. And hey, you guys, many of you, or all of those who I see right now here, have taken NLP. And the NLP presuppositions, the convenient assumptions, are the ones that need to filter your reality. So your client comes to you. That's a scenario. Your client is coming to you and they have a problem. You, as a coach, might not be the first choice for them in helping them to get over that problem. They might have a relationship problem. They might be battle with anxiety, maybe depression. Coaching can work in depression as well. It's not necessarily therapy. Or they have a problem in a fear of presentation skills. They have been promoted, don't exactly know how to succeed now after being promoted. So they are coming to you and you got to help them. So they are beaten down already. They have not, it's not that they succeeded all day long and then they come to you. That would be so lovely, really lovely, if I would have coaches who always succeeded. Whoa! And never failed and never been beaten up. I have never had any coachee who didn't have a problem. They all have issues. I had one coachee in my life one time who really was perfect in all areas. Really great, not even perfect, but really great. Only one problem, that's why I was called in to help him. He just lost his job. And that meant I had to work with him on recreating his resume to help him find a new job, connecting him with headhunters to get successful in finding a job. So there's never anybody who is successful and comes to you. They're always facing problems, challenges, limitations. They need you to push them to the next level. That's your job. So, because we got started here right now, I would love it if you were able to share this video already with your friends or give me a like currently so that I do know that what I'm sharing with you will be appropriate to you, that you like what you're hearing so far. So share the video or press that button, like button, that this video or this live feed is just right for you right now. So more of your friends can join in and learn something. Now let's talk about the beliefs that you as a coach need to have. I always say, a coach, he comes to you with lots of problems, challenges, issues, situations they can't manage, and they hope you will help them. And I do know you will help them. But please do not, my favorite thing is, do not accept their problems. If you accept their problems, you get hypnotized. You get entrenched in their problems. What did we talk last week about? You're creating a dependency. You are creating something in NLP, we call it, in hypnosis, we call it transference. That you get associate, identify yourself too much with a problem. Do not accept the problem, but respect the person. Hey, Matt, good. Max. You have to respect the person, who he is, who she is, with all their limitations, all their problems. You've got to look beyond their issues. Look beyond their issues. So you need to seize magnificence. You need to respect them as a person. Do not respect their problem. Have no respect whatsoever for their limitations if they give you excuses. Point out their excuses. But you must believe, or you must respect the person utmost. So you can actually tell them that, hey, what they tell you right now is just an excuse for their problem. They're giving you excuses. That's why they come to you. People have an excuse for not getting the life they want, and that's when they come to you. And that's when you have to help them. So you must believe in your coaches. You must believe in their success. You must believe in their magnificence. If you can't do this, refer them out. Send them somewhere else because they are better off somewhere else. Belief number one, and it's to me one of the most important reasons or beliefs to have, to respect the other person, whoever they are. I need to respect them until I fully understand where they are coming from. Do I make sense to you? I hope I make sense to you. Write down a comment if that makes sense to you, that you need to respect your coachee. Because who else, why would they come to you if you don't want to respect them? Second one, Milton Erickson. I'm messing the sequence up, of course, to entertain you a little bit. You'll never fail as a coach. You'll never fail as a coach. I recently read a really good quote by Milton Erickson. Milton Erickson, the hypnotherapist. He was one time asked if he ever failed in his hypnotherapy sessions. He said no, he never failed. It's just that he has not yet completed his work with some of his patients. Think about that. Think about it. This statement is so great, you know? Don't you like that statement? I think it's so fantastic. Milton Erickson said he never failed. It's just that he has not yet completed his work with some of his clients or patients. So you'll never fail as well. Because if something goes haywire, if you don't get certain things, that you don't get the outcomes you set out to achieve, or something happens with your coachee and they mess up or they're recreating their problem, it's because you haven't discovered something. You need to explore more, but you haven't failed. You have learned a new lesson with your coachee. So you're in a constant learning state. Please believe when you work with your coachee that you are not the person who needs to know it all. You don't need to know it all. You cannot know every little facet and area and situation of your life, of your coachee's life. You will never get it all. And there will always be a situation, and that happened to me extremely often when I just started up, that I went back, talk to Nachman and say, I just don't know what to do. I'm hitting a wall with this coachee. That was a learning. I had to be more creative because the client has many ways on how to run their problem. Do you understand that? I think it makes sense, right? So you need to be able to learn constantly. You are not perfect. You'll never be perfect. You don't want to be perfect. Seriously. How horrible would that be? If you are perfect, there's no learning anymore. You need to be able to constantly learn something. Believe in yourself. Believe in learning. Believe that you can help your coachees. But that you don't always help them immediately and instantly. You cannot make that happen. Seriously speaking. So anytime you don't get something done with your coachee in that one session, it just means you have learned something. And your coachee learned something as well. Hey, Rico. And your coachee learned something as well. Do I make sense? Give me a heart. Give me a love. Give me a like or something if that makes sense to you. Because you cannot fail if you are in a learning state. And it's just a matter of time and your learning ability. You need to be learning faster than your client can recreate the problem. Of course, you need to understand their problem. And then you make magic happen because you're helping the client to switch the brain. So there's no failure, only feedback. It's learning constantly when you are working with your coachees. The law of requisite variety, NLP language, right? Be flexible. I indicated already right now. Do not just have one approach only to your coachee. And that's a problem in the coaching industry. Coachees are different. And if you ever choose to come to our NLP Master Practitioner class, what will happen is that you're learning that there are different levels of values regarding coachees. You will be amazed. With some coachees, you must be very authoritarian. You must tell them. You've never made a mistake in your life. Otherwise, their playing with you. They don't respect you anymore. And there are other coachees. If you are too authoritarian, they're running away. They don't want to listen to you. They just want you to listen, to give feedback, to give them advice, to help them along a little bit. So there are different levels of coachees across the world. So a different values level. And we all, I and you listening to this one here right now, have different values level inside of us. It leads me too far to explain it to all of you right now. But some coaches have values level of the mafia kind of style. You must be able to, manage them hardcore like. You never made a mistake and you don't play with them. You must be very, very strict because they're pushing your boundaries. And there are coaches who are extremely advanced in their thinking already. You are just there to give them a feedback or listening to them or give them certain ideas. So basically it means you must be flexible in your behavioral style. And it goes way beyond understanding the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, AD kind of personnel style. Way beyond. It's about understanding the values level of the different coaches. Please understand the next value. We spoke about respect for the other person's model of the world, that you need to respect your coachee, not necessarily accept their problems or accept them, but respect them as a person. We spoke about only a learning situation. There's no failure, only feedback, because Milton Erickson never failed. He just didn't complete his sessions yet. You need to be able you need to, as a coach, always be in charge of your mind. When I started up, now I'm coaching for about 2017, I started off about 2005 or so, even before in organization. There were situations I prepared myself for coaches and I really worked with them. I had written down everything what I wanted to do. But coaches, as flexible as I'm supposed to be, coaches are also flexible. So what happened was sometimes I started my coaching session with them and suddenly after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, I realized I'm running against the block. I run against the wall. My plan, my thought out structure of the coaching session, totally haywire. Nothing worked. The exercise, the intervention I wanted to do failed totally. If I were to go to and that happened actually, one of the next story I'll tell you afterwards. When I were to go to my coachee and say, oh gosh, I don't know what to do, I'm helpless here right now, I'm freaking out inside of me, what do you think my coachee would say? What do you think my coachee would say? Hey, even Andreas can't help me. Oh my goodness. And the coachee goes home and realizes his life is even more miserable because he came to me for a certain reason, hoped, and then I say, I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do. Do not do this. You are in charge of your mind. You need to be able, when something goes wrong in your coaching, to refocus immediately. You need to basically know your stuff, that you can think on your feet and immediately create something. And please be creative when you coach, because your coachee is very creative. That you immediately know how to slant, how to change your coaching session in a manner that it's still beneficial to the coachee, ultimately. One time, I had a coachee actually, but I had a good relationship already, and we had a deep rapport. I prepared something. I don't even know anymore what the issue was he faced. And I thought, like, I'll do the NLP presupposition exercise that many of you have learned in the NLP training here. I started off, and I realized that exercise is not correct. Somehow the issue of the client and how I thought it out before didn't fit at all. I was strong enough, good enough, flexible enough to tell the client, because he looked like, what the heck is going on? What are you doing here? I have no idea how this will fit into my problem. And I said, I think the exercise I plan to do doesn't work out, let's do something else. And that's a magic word. Let's do something else, because it simply means that you have the ability to flip into different options and tell your client or guide your client into something else for them to succeed. Make sense? I think it makes a lot of sense. So what do we speak about right now? First of all, we spoke about you need to believe in yourself that you can help your coachee. You need to believe in your coachee, into their issues. Otherwise, how come you work with them? If you don't believe in the magnificence of your coachee, send them away. I shared with you, respect your coachee. You need to respect them as a person, not a problem, not their negative behavior, but as a problem, as a person, as a person. Next, there's no failure, only feedback. You always learn when you coach. That's a beautiful part of that job, that you learn so many people, you learn so many issues and problems with a person, and you never stop learning. Seriously speaking, it's beautiful, I promise you that. And the fun part really is, you never fail. I like that quote I read yesterday or the day before. Milton Erickson said he never failed. He just didn't finish sessions with his clients yet or his patients yet. Next is, of course, you need to be flexible in your behavior, just as flexible as your coachee is in running their problems. And the next one we said was, you are in charge of your mind. You need to be in charge of your mind, and then you are creating your results. Listen to the language of your client. Your client will try sometimes to please you. Seriously, your client might want to please you. And they might actually say, yeah, it was a great session. Or, yeah, I think I should try out what we discussed earlier. The solutions you worked on, the suggestions you worked throughout the session. Yeah, I should try it out. Calibrate on behavior. Calibrate on their words they're saying. Because if they, I should, you know should is a limitation, right? They don't want to do it yet. So you need to be able to listen to what they're saying and understand if what they're saying, if it's really actionable to them. If they really believe that you have done your job as a coachee. If they really believe in the solution that you and your coachee work throughout. Do they really believe it? Make sense so far? Please again, share this video with your friends. I would love it if there would be more people listening in right now. Now, I want to share with you one more thing. Let me just sit differently a little bit. Okay. A client is not resistant. One of the strangest excuses I hear sometimes when people talk to me and they're saying like, yeah, if the client might consciously want to change, but unconsciously they are resisting me. Some people might say to a client even, yeah, I know you want to change, but your unconscious mind is resisting me. That's such a bad, negative, sad frame you're putting around your coachee. And they're saying, your unconscious mind is resisting because the client, they want to succeed. That's why they are with you, together with you. They want to succeed. So if you put them into the box, yeah, I know, consciously you want to succeed, but your unconscious mind is rejecting me right now. I'm the great coach here, but you are not just following through. Something is wrong with your coaching, with something is wrong. So they're coming feel good from the very first batter. They're frustrated, extremely frustrated then. Do you know why? Because they thought you can help them. So please do not give that excuse of yourself onto your client. Hey Donovan, finally I can see you here also online. Great to see you here. Resistance in a client is a sign of lack of rapport. Remember that one from the NLP training, from the NLP practitioner training. If you have ever done NLP practitioner training, and I'm not just talking to those who are listening in from my own training part, but anybody else who listens to this one, you must know that NLP presupposition, that convenient belief. Resistance in a client is a lack of rapport. There are no resistant clients, only inflexible coaches. You are in charge of your mind. So if your coachee apparently doesn't get your point of view, if the coachee doesn't break through that limitation, if you don't manage to get around the problem, loosen the problem, burst the problem away in your sessions, it means you haven't built rapport with your unconscious mind. You have not done some explanation to the client, so ultimately they can't change yet. So you need to rebuild rapport with your coachee, ultimately, in order to make it happen. And the rapport is not just about the conscious mind and feeling good with each other and have a great conversation, but a rapport with the unconscious mind. That the client is uncritically accepting your suggestions. And how do you do this? Well, one thing is matching and mirroring. One thing is, of course, pacing their reality. One thing is your qualification, your credibility as a coach. The moment you have that, the client's mind is open up wide and they follow through. The conscious mind might actually go away, so to speak. Never quite goes away anyway, but goes away for you to be able to speak to the unconscious mind. You might have to, when the coachee resists, you might have to use massively hypnotic language patterns to unconsciously kind of address the problem at an unconscious level. And you know that tricks, right? That tips and tricks with the unconscious mind, a Milton model pattern in NLP, we call that on how you make it happen. That you are suddenly loosening up the problem. You can ask a lot of questions through the meta model, precision questions, to challenge the problem. So the client needs to work the problem at different level. Always stay in rapport, of course, if you ask the precision model. Let me see if I think there's something else regarding beliefs. No, actually, I think these are, for me, some of the most important beliefs I need to have as a coach working with my coachee. That I need to believe in the stuff I am doing. That I need to believe in the magnificence of my coachee. Sounds like a manifesto now. That I need to respect my clients at all levels, but I respect them as a person, not their negative behavior, not negative beliefs, even not negative values. I need to be flexible when I work with my clients, because the client is very flexible already anyway in running their problems. I need to be able to constantly learn. I can't. Even nowadays, when somebody comes to me with anxiety, I constantly study their problem. I constantly read about anxiety because it's so multifaceted, so multidimensional, these areas, panic, challenges, relationship problems. So I need to be in a learning state all the time. There's no failure, only feedback. Then, of course, what else was I saying? I'm in charge of my mind. I need to realize sometimes when I work with coachees that there's a challenge. But I need to have the ability to think on the spot working with my coachee. All right? And then there's one more. Okay, I have to have a constant rapport with my coachee. Deep rapport. I can't put them into a negative box. It's always my responsibility to make my coachee feel good from the very first session onwards. That's my session for today. Share this video. Tell people also about Asia Mind Dynamics and me, and ask them to approach us if they want to learn how to be a coach, or if they want to learn how to bring their life to the next level, coming to our NLP practitioner class, or if you know somebody who's able or who faces certain issues and challenges, I would appreciate if you refer them to us. And of course, we have lots of coaches around us as well. If we don't know how to handle those situations, we're also more than happy to work with our coaches in order to refer coaches we can't handle to them to make our coach's life better at a different level altogether. So I do know that you guys are really great listening in here right now. I know you can create your life. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you or seeing you next week, next Tuesday at 5:30 again for another session. I'm trying to find some coach to interview some coach. I've got 2 identified so far. I want to interview some coaches, talking with them about their life.